The 6 a.m. alarm clock isn't just a wake-up call. For many, it's more like a starting gunshot, forcing them into a race where they don't even know the finish line. You open your eyes, but the first thing you see isn't sunlight. It's a string of numbers. This month's rent that hasn't been paid yet. Credit card debt creeping up with every interest hike. A bank balance that looks thin after days of frugal living. Fear begins to seep into your very skin. Cold and aching. It isn't loud. It just whispers in your ear. If you stop, you will be left behind. If you fall, no one will pick you up. So you jump up, rushing to put on neat clothes. But your soul is wrinkled. You rush into the street, joining the crowd of hurried people. Looking at the faces of strangers on the bus or in the elevator, you see a common trait. Exhaustion masked as busyness. We are all running. Running from poverty, running from social judgment, and most of all, running from the insecurity that gnaws at you every night. You work 12 hours a day. You nod at every request from your boss, even as your heart screams. You skip a warm dinner with your family to stay behind with cold spreadsheets. You think that if you just earn a little more, you'll be okay. If you just reach that certain number, you can rest. But that goal keeps moving further away, like the horizon. When you earn 10 million, you worry because others have 20. When you have 100 million, the worry turns into how to get 1 billion. Financial fear is a monster that never gets full. It turns money from a tool into a chain that binds your life. You no longer buy a shirt because it's beautiful. You buy it to prove you aren't lacking. You no longer eat a meal to enjoy the flavor. You eat just to have the strength to keep grinding. Have you ever stood still in the middle of a crowd, feeling your chest tighten? Asking yourself, am I living or just existing to pay bills? Electricity, water, internet, tuition, medicine, they are like boulders placed on your shoulders. Your heavy breath mixes with the honking of horns. You fear calls from relatives, worrying someone is sick. You fear social invitations because they aren't in the budget. You live in a state of high alert, like a hunted animal. And then, you start losing things more precious than money. The ability to feel joy in small things. A sunset becomes meaningless because you're calculating tomorrow's earnings. And you become irritable, vulnerable, and always alone in this war. You don't dare to be sick, or sad, or even to love truly. Sometimes in the quiet night you ask, how long have I been running? When was the last time you felt the earth under your feet instead of hot asphalt? Your body is falling apart. The back pain and dark circles are the scars of these fearful years. You realize you're growing old while your bank balance still hasn't brought peace. You haven't been slow. You've just been running too long without a break. You fear the world will collapse if you stop for a minute. But does security really come from numbers? Money buys a luxury bed, but not a good night's sleep. It's time to stop for a moment. Not to give up, but to find your way. Take a deep breath. Feel the air. It's free. Look at your hands. They deserve a gentle touch. Not a tight grip of worry. You don't need to be rich to have the right to be happy. The word enough is a sacred boundary. When you know what is enough, the fear starts to retreat. Allow yourself to walk instead of run. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't earn as much as expected. You deserve rest. You deserve peace. Stop, take a long breath, and start walking with a different mindset. You aren't a money-making tool. You are a human being. Leave the fear behind and start the journey of true freedom now.